Hey there, and welcome to my new tutorial. Are you a beginner in web development? Or maybe you just want to level up your skills? Either way, you're in the right place. In today's video, we are going to create something amazing with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What you will learn: a navbar that changes color only when you scroll, eye-catching animations like bounce, spin without JavaScript, a free responsive design that looks great on any device. So stick around and let's bring your web project to life. This is the stunning website that we are going to build today. So here is the header, and then here we have the hero section. So you can see some beautiful animations. Here we have the spin, here we have the bounce, and then the spin are also here. Okay, so here you can scroll and see some beautiful text, and also you can see the navbar is also changing. And then here we will be having the about section. Okay, so for the about section here, you can be able to navigate between the images. So we'll see how we'll be doing all of this using JavaScript, as this is only one image that we have defined on our HTML section. Okay, and then you can scroll down and see some beautiful animations here. So this is the product section. Okay, and you can see some beautiful animations here. So we'll see how we can do that using only CSS. Okay, and then here we can see the contact section here. So here you can see some beautiful work being done here. Okay, so and then the last three we have the footer here. So that is the stunning page that we are going to build today. And also, most importantly, you can see that it is fully responsive. So you can see on mobile devices is fully responsive. So you can see. So let's continue from there. So to get started, you can basically create a folder at any directory. So we are going to do that. So we are going to name it watch, or you can name it watch store or something like that. So here it is. So here you can actually open it using using VS Code right there, if you are using VS Code. For my case, I am using VS Code, but you can also use JetBrains. Okay, so here you can do that, or you can just drag and drop it inside your code editor right here. So here it will just reload. So I'll just minimize that one. So here after it finishes loading we need to create a few files. So here the first one, so here we say yes. For the first file we'll create index.html. so because we will be using an extension called live server, it is important that you create an index indicating that is the index.html, indicating this is the home page. Okay, so here you are going to say HTML5 like that, and with that you can just change this one to watch store. Okay, then I can just copy this one and just paste it here. Okay, so with that, now you can see that we have what we need right here. Another file that we need is the style.css. okay, so here we'll have file.css, and then here you need to import it. So here you just need to type, and that is link. Then you can find this one, that is link : CSS. Okay, then hit enter. So here you will see that it will automatically have the href predefined to style, so which is this one here. So when you control click, you will notice that you will be headed to our styles. Okay, then you can also save on that one. So another one that we need to create is script, that is script.js, like that. So this one here will have it, that is for JS scripts. So here we'll have the script, and then here we'll have the script. So here for the autocomplete, you will notice that you will have a few options. So here you will have the module, the script, and the source. So choose the one that the one with the source, and then here control space bar, and then you will have these options. So you can choose your script, okay, and then with that one you can save. So here we have actually set up that is our minimal project very fast. So the next thing that we are going to do, I'm going to show you how we can actually but before we do that, let me actually show you the that is the extensions that we'll be using throughout this project so that I can continue. So you can head over to the extensions here. So here when you come here, you'll notice that, so let me minimize this one here. So the first one here is the auto rename, that is the auto rename tag, okay. So for this one here, we'll be using it to auto rename paired HTML tags. So let me indicate what will happen here. So let's say I want to actually update this part here, okay. So you can see another extension here which is highlighting the tag. I will be sharing that one in a bit. So here, if I want to change this one to a div, something like a div, you can see as I update, also the closing tag is being updated. So the same case, if you update this one here to body, so you can see also the opening tag is also the opening tag is also being updated, okay. So you can close that one. So the next one that we'll be using is the so we won't be using the bracket colorization. We'll be using color highlights. So for the color highlights here, you can see this one highlights the web colors in your editor. So for our case, for our styles here, later on you will see that we'll be having something like root, okay, sorry, we'll be having root, okay. Then we'll be having primary, so that you will see that here we have the color highlights, okay. So we can continue, kind of close that one. So the color highlight, we just use it for that case. And then you scroll down, and then we have the highlight matching tag, okay. So this one here, so let me close it here. So this one here, we use it to highlight our tags. So let's say this one here, you can see it is being highlighted. It is being highlighted with the yellow color. Even this one here, you can see it is being highlighted. Even this one here, okay. So you need that one also, so that you can know where the tag is starting and where the tag is ending at, or where the tag is closed, okay. So for the other one that we'll be using is the live server. For the live server is the one that we'll be using actually to run our project. So basically this one is very useful because you don't need to refresh your page. So if we run it here, so if you after installing it, you will notice that it will be on your right, on the bottom here, on the footer of your VS Code. So you can click it, and then it will be starting. Then it should be open right here. So you can see it right here, okay. So if I change, so let me close it first. If I change this one to something like watch, you notice that I don't have to refresh the page, it will just refresh itself, okay. So you can leave it up to that. And then I don't know if I have left something out, so I think those one are enough. If I find something new, I'll just share it with you. So now, since that I have shared with you the how we can run our project, now I want us to actually have our images. So in the link in the description, you will find the source code of this project, so you can get all the images from there. So now I want to show you how you can actually change this icon for your tab, okay. So to do that, you can come here and say link, okay, this one here, you can choose either this one here. Then here, instead of style sheet, here we'll be using something else, which will be icon, okay. And then for the href, we'll be using dot. So we have the images now, and then we'll be saying green png, okay. And with that, now you can see the icon have changed to our watch, okay. So you can also give it type, okay, of which will be having image png, okay. So that one doesn't matter really a lot, but it is necessary. It is necessary you have the type, because you need to know which type you are using right here, okay. So for the next thing that we need to get is firstly we can get let's first get the font. So sorry, let's get the icon. So to get the icon, you can search for font awesome icons CDN, okay. And then instead of clicking this one here, you can scroll down and find the font awesome here, okay. And then here you need to copy this one here, okay, this one here, you need to copy it, okay. So click on this icon right here, and then head back here and duplicate this one here, and then replace this one here with what we have right there, okay. And then save, okay. After saving, you can actually test it, whereby you can head over to the same thing. Basically you can move back here. We don't have any examples, so you can move back here and say, and come here and search icons, okay. So just give it a moment, okay. So this one, I don't like that one, okay. You can head over to icons here instead. This one is the one that I'm used to. So here you can search for something like bus, okay. So here it is, and then you can click on it, and then you can see the sizes of the bar, and then here you can see how you can use the how you can use the bar. So you can paste it right here and then save. So here now you can see the bar, okay. So let's remove it, since now we know how to use it. So in any case that you need to find any other icon, you can just search for it here. Even something like cat that we'll be using, that is cat plus this one here, which we'll be using, you can see where it is, okay. So for the next thing that we need to search for is the font that we'll be using. So you can search for Google font family, okay. Then click the first link, okay. Then here we need to search for our icon, for our font that we'll be using. Here we'll be using a font. Let me just copy the name of the font that we'll be using. So here is the font that we'll be using here. So here is the font that we will be using, at Caution, and then click on the first option, okay. And then on your right you will see get font, okay. So here you can either download it, or you can go over to the get embedded code, okay. So here you can see how you can actually paste it on your project, run it, okay, and then how to use it, okay. So for my case, I will just copy this one here, okay, copy that one there, and then head over to your styles, okay. And then here you can say at import and then URL, okay. And then you can paste the link that we have just copied, okay. And then after that you can head over to body, you can type body, and then here you can say font family, okay. And then you can say Caution script, okay, then cursive, okay. So then here now you can see we have the font that we want to use for our project, okay. So I don't know what I have left out. Basically I think now we have everything that we need to run this project or to continue running this project. So let's meet on the next part of the video.
Every time, every going down.